Tensions in the Pacific have reached alarming heights. Recently, Chinese and Russian warships made their boldest moves yet, edging closer to U.S. waters than ever before. But what does this mean? Is it a mere show of force, or does it signal a shift in the global balance of power? In this video, we delve into these critical questions and analyze the implications for peace and stability on the world stage. The U.S. Navy's historic role in the Pacific. Since the end of World War II, the U.S. Navy has maintained an unmatched presence in the Pacific. This strategic commitment protects vital shipping lanes and serves as a floating demonstration of U.S. foreign policy. However, can the U.S. Navy rise to the unprecedented challenges of today's volatile era? Let's find out. Over the decades, the Navy's role in the Pacific has evolved. From Cold War standoffs with the Soviet Union to China's growing maritime ambitions, the U.S. fleet has symbolized strength and stability. But the geopolitical tides are shifting and the challenges are multiplying. China's maritime ambitions. China's naval expansion has become a significant cause for concern in the Pacific region. The country's rapid modernization of its navy and the construction of artificial islands in the South China Sea have alarmed many. These activities point to a broader strategy that could reshape the balance of power in the region. Since 2014, China has been building artificial islands in the Spratly Islands, covering an area of approximately 5.1 square miles. These islands are not just barren pieces of reclaimed land. They are equipped with airstrips, ports, missile systems, and radar installations. By militarizing these outposts, China is challenging international norms and creating tensions with neighboring countries. These artificial islands serve as more than just military bases. They are symbols of China's larger ambitions to expand its influence. The Belt and Road Initiative is another tool Beijing uses to achieve its goals, fostering economic ties with Pacific Island nations and securing strategic agreements that extend its reach far beyond its borders. China's long-term strategy appears to go beyond regional dominance. By strengthening its naval capabilities and creating a network of partnerships, Beijing aims to secure vital shipping lanes and project power into new areas. This raises questions about whether these moves are defensive or part of a calculated push for global maritime control. The South China Sea is a critical area for global trade, and China's activities there have far-reaching implications. Its construction of military facilities on artificial islands is seen by many as an attempt to dominate this strategic region. Such actions have drawn criticism from international bodies and heightened tensions with nations that rely on these waters for trade. Beijing's maritime ambitions are reshaping the geopolitical landscape. The combination of military expansion, strategic partnerships, and economic initiatives suggests a well-coordinated effort to establish itself as a dominant power. The key question remains: will these moves lead to a more stable balance of power, or are they a prelude to greater conflict? Russia's Pacific resurgence. For decades, Russia's military focus has primarily been on Europe. However, the country is now turning its attention to the Pacific, aiming to reassert its influence in this strategically vital region. This shift is evident in its recent deployment of advanced naval assets, signaling Moscow's intent to play a bigger role in the Pacific. One of Russia's key additions to its Pacific fleet is the Burai-class Emperor Alexander III submarine. This state-of-the-art vessel is armed with 16 intercontinental ballistic missiles, making it a formidable part of Russia's nuclear deterrent. Alongside this, the Yasin-class Kark submarine has been deployed, featuring cutting-edge cruise missiles designed for both offensive and defensive operations. Russia has not stopped with these advanced submarines. It has also bolstered its fleet with diesel-electric submarines, known for their stealth and cost-effectiveness. These vessels enhance Russia's ability to operate in the Pacific's vast waters, allowing it to maintain a strong naval presence while challenging the maritime balance of power. In addition to submarines, Russia has expanded its fleet with modern warships that feature advanced weaponry and technology. These ships are designed to support Russia's strategic goals, including the protection of its maritime interests and the projection of power in key areas of the Pacific. This naval buildup is a clear statement of Moscow's intentions to remain a major player on the global stage. Russia's actions in the Pacific are also closely tied to its growing partnership with China. The two nations have conducted joint naval exercises, showcasing their combined military strength and signaling a unified challenge to Western dominance. These drills are not just symbolic, but also practical, allowing both countries to coordinate and improve their naval strategies. The resurgence of Russia's Pacific Fleet highlights a broader strategy to counterbalance the influence of the United States and its allies in the region. By modernizing its navy and strengthening ties with China, Russia is positioning itself as a key competitor in the Pacific. However, these moves raise important questions about the long-term stability of the region and the potential for increased tensions. Strategic implications of joint naval operations. Joint naval exercises between China and Russia have reached new levels of coordination. In 2024, their largest ever drills in the Sea of Japan involved over 20 warships and submarines. These exercises showcased advanced technologies like hypersonic missiles and autonomous underwater vehicles. But what are the broader implications of this growing alliance? For China, controlling Pacific trade routes is essential to its superpower ambitions. For Russia, the Pacific offers economic opportunities and a chance to counter Western influence. Together, they present a formidable challenge to the established global order. The South China Sea, a hotbed of tensions. The South China Sea is one of the most contested areas in the world, with overlapping territorial claims and constant military activity. In 2021, a U.S. Navy destroyer carried out a freedom of navigation operation near the Paracel Islands. This operation, meant to assert international rights, drew an aggressive response from Chinese forces. Such encounters have become more frequent in recent years, reflecting the rising tensions in the region. These confrontations are not limited to naval operations. In 2023, a Chinese J-16 fighter jet dangerously intercepted a USRC-135 reconnaissance aircraft over the South China Sea. The jet flew so close that it caused severe turbulence, putting the U.S. crew at risk. Incidents like these highlight how quickly a simple miscalculation could lead to a larger crisis in these already volatile waters. The South China Sea is not just a military hotspot, it is also a critical route for global trade. Trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through these waters annually, making them strategically important for many nations. China's militarization of artificial islands and its expansive maritime claims are seen by many as attempts to dominate the region, further escalating tensions with its neighbors and the United States. Taiwan and regional stability. The waters surrounding Taiwan have become another major flashpoint in the Indo-Pacific region. In 2024, China's Shandong aircraft carrier conducted large-scale military exercises east of Taiwan. These exercises were a direct demonstration of China's military strength and its intention to challenge Taiwan's sovereignty. In response, the United States deployed the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group to the area, showcasing its commitment to protecting Taiwan and maintaining regional stability. These simultaneous military maneuvers by China and the U.S. highlight the high stakes involved and the potential for escalation in this critical region. Taiwan's strategic location and its importance to global supply chains, especially in the technology sector, make it a central issue in the competition between China and the United States. The increasing military activities in the surrounding waters underscore the fragile balance of power and the constant risk of a larger conflict. Maintaining peace and stability in this region remains one of the most significant challenges of our time. The Arctic, a new frontier. The Arctic is becoming a new hotspot for global competition as climate change opens up previously inaccessible shipping routes. Melting ice has exposed vast areas of the Arctic, making it an attractive region for trade, resources, and strategic positioning. Russia and China have recognized this opportunity and are increasing their activities in the region, raising concerns about future conflicts. Russia has a long-standing presence in the Arctic, with its northern fleet operating in the region for decades. In recent years, Russia has ramped up its efforts, building new icebreakers and enhancing military bases to maintain dominance in these frigid waters. These moves demonstrate Moscow's determination to capitalize on the Arctic's strategic potential. China, although not an Arctic nation, has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is expanding its reach in the region. Through its Polar Silk Road initiative, China aims to build trade routes and establish a presence in this strategic area. Its investments in research stations and Arctic infrastructure signal its long-term ambitions to play a significant role in the region. The U.S. Navy has responded to these developments by bolstering its presence in the Arctic. Investments in ice-capable warships and enhanced naval infrastructure are part of the strategy to maintain a competitive edge. However, questions remain about whether these efforts are sufficient to counter the growing influence of Russia and China. Operating in the Arctic presents unique challenges. The extreme cold, shifting ice, and remote locations require specialized equipment and training. The U.S. Navy is working to adapt to these conditions, but the harsh environment continues to test the limits of even the most advanced naval forces. Technological advancements in the future of naval warfare. The competition for dominance isn't limited to geography. Emerging technologies are rapidly changing the nature of naval warfare. Innovations like artificial intelligence, AI, unmanned systems, and hypersonic missiles are reshaping how nations prepare for and conduct military operations at sea. For example, the U.S. Navy's P-8 Poseidon aircraft is a game-changer in maritime surveillance. Equipped with advanced sensors and long-range capabilities, it can detect underwater threats, track warships, and gather critical intelligence. This makes the P-8 a vital tool for maintaining naval superiority in contested regions. On the other hand, China's deployment of stealthy J-20 fighter jets and sophisticated missile systems poses a direct challenge to the U.S. Navy. These advanced technologies enhance China's ability to project power and complicate the U.S.'s efforts to maintain dominance. As both nations invest heavily in cutting-edge innovations, the race for technological supremacy in naval warfare is intensifying. The future of naval operations will likely be defined by who can best integrate these emerging technologies. Nations that leverage AI for decision-making, develop reliable unmanned systems, and deploy hypersonic missiles effectively will hold a significant advantage. The question remains, who will win this high-stakes race for dominance on the seas? The risk of miscalculation. As naval confrontations become more frequent, the chances of accidents with severe consequences increase. The high-stakes environment in contested regions like the South China Sea means even minor incidents can escalate quickly. For example, in one alarming case, a Chinese J-11 fighter jet intercepted a US EP-3 reconnaissance plane. The two aircraft came within just 10 feet of each other, putting both crews in grave danger. Such encounters highlight the thin line between routine operations and potential disaster. These near misses are not isolated incidents. They are becoming more common as nations assert their presence in disputed waters and airspace. With tensions running high, the risk of miscalculation, whether due to human error or miscommunication, remains a constant threat. A single mistake could ignite a chain of events leading to an international crisis. The fragility of peace in these regions stems from overlapping claims and competing interests. As nations like China and the United States increase their military activities, the likelihood of unintentional confrontations rises. This creates an environment where vigilance and restraint are crucial but difficult to maintain. One of the key challenges in preventing miscalculation is the sheer complexity of modern military operations. With advanced technologies like stealth aircraft, hypersonic missiles, and sophisticated surveillance systems, the margin for error becomes razor-thin. Misinterpreting a routine patrol or test as a hostile act could trigger a disproportionate response. To illustrate this, consider the high-pressure scenarios faced by military personnel. Pilots navigating near adversary aircraft, ship captains monitoring hostile movements, and ground-based commanders making split-second decisions all operate in an atmosphere of intense scrutiny. Any misstep, however small, could lead to unintended consequences. Another factor contributing to the risk of miscalculation is the lack of clear communication channels between rival nations. While some hotlines and protocols exist, they are not always used effectively during crises. Without reliable methods to de-escalate situations, misunderstandings can spiral out of control. Diplomatic efforts, can they prevent escalation? While military strength is vital in maintaining balance, diplomacy plays an equally important role in reducing tensions. The United States has engaged in direct dialogues with China and Russia, emphasizing the importance of adhering to international maritime laws. These discussions aim to establish norms and prevent provocative actions that could lead to conflict. One example of a diplomatic platform addressing these issues is the ASEAN Regional Forum. This multilateral forum brings together nations to discuss maritime security and other pressing regional concerns. By fostering dialogue and cooperation, such platforms create opportunities for trust building and conflict resolution. However, diplomatic efforts often face significant challenges. National pride, political pressures, and differing interpretations of international laws can hinder progress. For instance, while the U.S. views its freedom of navigation operations as a way to uphold international law, China sees them as provocations that threaten its sovereignty. Despite these challenges, diplomacy remains a critical tool. Track 2 dialogues, informal discussions involving academics, retired officials, and policy experts, often serve as back channels for building understanding. These conversations can complement formal negotiations and pave the way for more productive outcomes. But are current diplomatic efforts enough to prevent escalation? Some experts argue that the existing mechanisms are insufficient given the rising complexity and frequency of confrontations. While agreements and protocols exist on paper, their implementation in high-stress situations is far from guaranteed. One potential solution lies in enhancing crisis communication channels. For example, expanding military hotlines between rival nations could help address misunderstandings in real time. Clearer rules of engagement and shared protocols for de-escalation would also reduce the chances of accidental conflict. Another avenue is greater involvement from neutral third parties. International organizations like the United Nations could play a more active role in mediating disputes and ensuring compliance with maritime laws. By providing a platform for impartial dialogue, such bodies could help build trust among conflicting nations. However, the effectiveness of these measures ultimately depends on political will. Without genuine commitment from all parties involved, even the most well-designed diplomatic efforts can fall short. The key question remains: are nations willing to prioritize peace over power in these contested regions? As the world watches the increasing tensions in areas like the South China Sea, it becomes clear that both military and diplomatic strategies are needed to maintain stability. While the risk of miscalculation looms large, proactive efforts in communication, cooperation, and trust building offer a path forward. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the responsibility to act lies with global leaders. As China and Russia expand their naval activities, the U.S. faces a critical question. Can it maintain its strategic dominance in the Pacific? With freedom of navigation, regional stability, and global power dynamics hanging in the balance, the actions of these superpowers will shape the future of maritime security. Do you believe technology and diplomacy can avert a potential crisis? Or is the world on the brink of an unprecedented naval arms race? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more compelling content. Join us as we explore the evolving dynamics of naval power in the 21st century. See you in the next video.